Why don't we do a little standings update here? Why don't we go down the standings and just take a look at what's going on around the league? Because I feel like there's a lot of stuff that's happening that we haven't really touched on yet. There's a lot of stuff happening throughout Major League Baseball. If you were paying attention to the Tampa Bay Rays starting out the season 13-0, excuse me, then maybe you would have thought that they're running away with the division. They're not. The Toronto Blue Jays, only 4 games back. Only 4 games back for the Toronto Blue Jays. The Minnesota Twins have now lost 3 straight. But the Cleveland Guardians, Jay Hayes' Cleveland Guardians, have also lost 3 straight. The Minnesota Twins are the only team in the AL Central with a positive run differential. That is a weak-ass division. A team that we have not shown much love to at all on this podcast. And we'll get to some injury updates in regards to this team later down the line. But regardless, they've still won 3 straight games. The first place 11-6 Texas Rangers with a plus 34 run differential. I believe that's the second best in the American League right now. It is. Can confirm. The Texas Rangers are 11-6 in first place. They've already scored 100 runs. And they have the second best run differential in the American League, currently on a 3-game winning streak. Ahead of the second place Los Angeles Angels, who've won 2 straight after not having to play the Red Sox anymore. If you're one of these fans that your team has not gotten off to a hot start, you can kind of look around the room and say, well, look at that team. Look at this team. Look at that team. The Houston Astros are 8-10 to start the year. That's not good. Seattle Mariners also 8-10. That's not good. They've lost 2 straight running into the Brew Crew. The Oakland Athletics, did I see somewhere that they're on pace to have a run differential that's somewhere in the negative 400s? That can't be true.
Well, on the current pace, Jared, that's probably pretty accurate.
Yeah, okay. So I think I saw, shout out to Athletics Rants on Twitter. I think he tweeted, or she, I don't know who runs that account.
Don't say it.
Negative 486 they're on pace for.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the other one. Okay.
Why? What's the other one?
Nothing.
What's the other one? Do you see something else?
Nope.
What else did you see?
Nothing.
What did you see, Dallas?
Nothing. Nothing. It's an error. It's probably a typo, if I'm being honest. That's why I didn't even entertain it.
I'm just going to search Athletics on pace on Twitter and see what happened. The A's are on pace to finish with a negative 684 run differential.
The
negative 684.
That's not what I was looking at. That's not it. That's fine. Yeah.
What were you looking at?
Nothing.
Man. The Athletics right now. This is a tweet from just 30 minutes ago. The Athletics are on pace to win 27 games. I
mean, stop it. We are 2 weeks into the season.
Hey, listen,
stop
this is just.
Well, I mean, because what? Fucking 5 days ago, the Rays were on pace to win 162 games. Okay, fucking knock it off.
I get it.
Do you?
These are the facts, man. I'm not trying to pile on. I'm just trying to go down the line here and give the fans a little update on what's up. In the National League, the Atlanta Braves, Joe? The Atlanta Braves, the first place 14-4 Atlanta Braves have won how many straight games, Joe? 8 straight fucking games. And these games are not close. Well, hitting the shit. Matt Olson last night, putting the fucking nail in the coffin 3-run bomb. It was 440 feet, Dallas. 440 feet, 3-run bomb last night. Yeah. The 8th straight victory. Ozzie Albies also went deep in that game.
Don't forget Sean Murphy.
Oh, wow. Wow, Joe, I'm so glad you brought his name up.
He had a
Sean
great night at the
Murphy.
plate last
Yeah,
night.
he did.
Could you
He
imagine
did.
being an asshole Braves fan who doesn't
Oh,
want Sean Murphy on your team?
come
Could you imagine clamoring for anybody else other than Sean Murphy right now?
Yeah.
Well, Sean Murphy is hitting country miles worth of fucking home runs.
Yeah.
There's people out there who would much rather have somebody else.
Well, I'm sorry I didn't jump up and down when Travis d'Arnaud got concussed, unlike you. He was like, this is great. Okay, sorry. I should have, my bad. I should have been excited for that.
I'm actually good friends with the d'Arnauds, so that's just not.
That's why it's
Hey, you play
shocking.
blitzball with them.
That's why it's shocking.
Yeah. Matt Chapman for the Toronto Blue Jays. What a breakout campaign he's been having. I don't know if you've noticed, but he's gone to a toe tap this year.
Yep.
Different stride, toe tap. He's fucking seeing the ball well, Dallas.
Yeah, no, hey, I tell you, Chappie seeing the ball well, Murph seeing the ball well, Ole seeing the ball well.
Matt Chapman,
those
Matt
guys
Olson,
stop
Sean
it.
Murphy
This is
have driven in. Those three former Oakland A's have driven in 53 runs.
53.
The Oakland A's as a team to start the year have scored 63 runs.
All three of those guys are in the top 10 for position players and wins above replacement too, including Chapman, who's
so that was the
overall.
stat. That's what I didn't want to talk about. That's what I didn't want you to find.
Well, I've gotten some pretty nice messages from Oakland A's fans who have reached out and said, you know what? Dallas speaks for all of us. He speaks for us. He speaks with us, and he stands with us. And that's why we listen to Baseball is Dead. And some Oakland A's fans are like, hey, you know what? When you lay into Dallas and the Oakland A's, we actually support that because we want people to know how bad it is over here.
and Jared, that is why I am their martyr.
Yeah.
I will take all of the arrows for them.
You wear a crown of thorns for this organization.
And they know, like I get, you have people DM me about things anywhere from like concession items to fucking personnel moves, like roster decisions, right? Like this is all like I've got to say in absolutely all of it. Somewhere, somehow, I've got an iron in every fire that's just not, it's not true. It's not true. But I am here. I am here to support my Bay fans.
Yeah, you're doing a great job of it. Honestly. You're the guy. You're the guy.
I'll stand with them.
Yeah. The Atlanta Braves, they've played 11 games on the road this year. They've only lost one of them. But they've won 8 straight ball games. Not much else to say, really. But I mean, the New York Mets, 11-7 to start the year. Okay. Philadelphia Phillies being 7-11 to start the year with a -16 run differential. Not where you want to be. But my Milwaukee Brewers in a division, I don't want to say that the division was a toss-up, but there were a lot of intriguing teams in the NL Central. The Brewers being one of them. They've won 3 straight. They're in first place with a 2-game lead over both the Cubs and Dallas. The Pittsburgh Pirates, who are 11-7 to start the year. They've won 2 straight. They have a positive run differential. I want to say the last 3 times they started the season, 11-7, they won the World Series. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure I saw that somewhere.
Who'd you say?
The Pirates.
Oh, the Buccos. Oh, I was like,
yeah.
Oh, hold on. Say that again. The last 3 times they started 11-7, they won the World Series.
I think that's what I saw. Yeah.
I'm
pretty
willing
sure
to
someone
take
tweeted
all
that.
action on the Pirates winning the World Series this season from the rest of the podcast participants. Any action
I'll throw
you wanna
$100 on
down,
that.
I will be the house on that one.
Yeah. I'll throw $100 on the Pirates winning the World Series. What are the odds right now?
Probably
Good enough to throw $100 on them.
Yes.
Yeah, Jake, look that up.
Let's see.
Give me the Pittsburgh Pirates World Series odds in the DraftKings
They're
Sportsbook.
currently plus 25,000.
Yeah. Value.
Plus what?
Same as the
If you get part with
same as the
$100.
Royals and Tigers.
Oh, that's unfair. That's unfair. They should not be in the same conversation as the Royals and Tigers. The Royals are an abomination. The Tigers are very dreadful. But we'll get to the Tigers because they've been winning ball games.
How dare you?
Yeah, no. We're gonna get to the Tigers. St. Louis Cardinals, very disappointing start, 7-11. 7-11, negative 11 run differential. The D-backs. I remember when I got mocked for saying that the D-backs were going to be interesting this year because they lost like one game, like the third game of the season. They were getting trounced. Oh, yeah, the D-backs are going to be interesting this year, huh? Carrabis, they're going to be interesting. Yeah, they're in first place right now. 10% through the season. That's no small slice. If I said, give me 10% of your bank account, you'd be like, what the fuck? That's a lot, right?
I mean, it's not enough for me to tell you that
come on.
You're never going to make enough. You're never going to make that. Come on. Interesting? We're
the
2
D-backs
weeks in.
Are you trying to say the D-backs are not interesting? I don't think that you're qualified to say what's interesting or not.
What a take.
What a take.
Interesting. It's like, I mean, yeah, you could say that about anyone. The Oakland Athletics are very interesting this year.
Yeah, they are.
So then that lines up.
But it could be interesting for a lot of reasons.
The Oakland A's are interesting in the fact that they're an interesting talking point. They're not interesting to sit down and watch the games. Like the D-backs are interesting to sit down and watch the games.
I agree with you with that too. I'll put the D-backs in my category of teams that could surprise people this year.
Oh,
and that is a small group of teams.
Corbin Carroll is definitely exciting to watch.
Yeah,
and so his game. I mean, look, Longo. I love the fact that Longo's playing well right now. Because he is one of these guys where he's an elder statesman in the game. And speaking of the Oakland A's, okay, we don't have a ton of those guys on that roster. There's not a ton of elder statesmen that can impact the roster the way that a healthy Evan Longoria can impact this roster. So that is something that, yes, is interesting to watch about them. Unfortunately for Longo, we've seen that things at times he gets a little banged up. If he could stay healthy, or if they could figure out how to use him I don't want to say sparingly, but keep him healthy and keep him in a position to make the impact he's making in this early go here, that helps. That helps a lot. And it helps just because of the conversation that we're having around the division with the Dodgers. It's kind of the same conversation we're having around the AL West with the Astros. How the Mariners are beating the Astros. The Angels are beating the Astros. The Rangers are beating the Astros. And so the Diamondbacks might be able to become one of those teams that continually gives the Padres a good fit.
Jay, hey, do you have any D-backs thoughts?
I mean, I agree with the Corbin Carroll assessment. I think he's one of the most exciting prospects to come around in the last few years because he's the total package in terms of speed and pop, and it's materializing like very quickly upon his ascension to the major leagues. So that part I think is spot on. I don't think I disagreed with the idea that Arizona could be interesting this season, in part because I think their pitching. I think Zach Gallen is interesting. I think they have a lot of youth that's on the way as well. And then when you have, I couldn't help but pull up Evan Longoria's page when Dallas brought him up, because we've gotten to the point where like he's not available enough anymore, but he's actually remained remarkably productive over like the back half of his 30s when he's on the field. So much so that I think I've kind of lost track of him unfairly as well, because he has a 120 OPS plus since the start of the 21 season across 625 plate appearances. And that is legitimately helpful. Even if it's in a platoon situation, or even if it's in a part-time situation. And I just think sometimes the start of a player's career can obscure some good stuff that they're doing on the back half. And just because Longoria was a franchise centerpiece and possibly on a Hall of Fame track for the first 7 to 8 seasons of his career. I think he's become a little bit lost in the shuffle and a little bit underappreciated down the stretch. So I appreciate that call out for sure. I just think that, the last thing I'll say, I think the NL West might be more open than we maybe anticipated. Like, I know there was talk about the Padres and Dodgers and waffling back and forth on those two, but they both look at least as vulnerable, if not more so than we anticipated. And I know they haven't had Tatis, and that will make a difference, but the Padres pitching staff,
really
I
had
think,
Soto
has some
either.
concerns, but not saying the Diamondbacks are going to win the division, but they now have 4 teams projected for 80 plus wins in the division, and none of them are projected for 90. So it's tighter than it was.
It's crunching.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that. And also, I was going to say, shout out to Nick Ahmed, who hit a ball that bounced last night. It's fucking awesome. The dude's a wizard with a glove, like a wizard with the glove. He's one of, like, honestly, if you're going to watch the Diamondbacks play baseball, get there early so you can hopefully watch Nick Ahmed go about his business in the infield. It's a fucking treat. It is a treat. It's like watching milk poured off of a mirror in slow motion, just as smooth and as buttery as, I don't know why I thought about that. I don't even know what milk poured off a mirror would look like. It just fucking feels super smooth. Yeah, he's sexy over there though.
As long as we're doing, like, just appreciating the D-backs session here, I wonder how many people fully realize that Zach Gallen finished 5th in the Cy Young vote last year, and since the start of the 22 season has a 2.64 ERA and 208 and a third innings pitched. Like, that guy is rock solid. I mean, he's a legitimate front of the rotation guy, and I think that's one of the pieces that has been missing for the D-backs, and it looks like they have that for the.
Well, everybody that's starting ball games right now for him, outside of Mad Bum, I feel like has done a decent job. Well, Mad Bum and what, Davies? He get roughed up, Davies?
Yeah, he got hurt.
So, but yeah, I mean, like, Gallen has thrown the ball very well. Merrill Kelly has thrown the ball very well. So, I mean, yeah, it's a great start. It's a great start. I think offensively, that's why I said I love Corbin Carroll. Super exciting. The way the game has transitioned and his arrival, it's like a perfect marriage. Like this is when he's supposed to be here. You know what I mean? Like, he's the perfect player for this time. Like, he wants to fucking run, let him run. He can drive the ball, fucking bang it, big dog. And just, like, watch the whole skill set surface and be put on display.
From a subjective.
You know what's also crazy about the D-backs is that in their starting lineup, their projected starting lineup, they only have one player over 30.
Oh.
Nuclei.
Pretty wild. And Mad Bum is actually younger than Jacob deGrom, so he could still develop.
That's crazy to think.
Develop what?
A
case of the sore shoulder. Yeah.
Find some things, experiment, new pitch.
Throw the sweeper, dude.
I think we're closer to Mad Bum being out of the rotation than we are him developing a new pitch or finding another gear. Yeah, it's sad.
Let the kids play, Jay.
Yeah, not gonna stand for any Mad Bum slander.
It's not slander.
Yeah.
He's terrible now. I do think
you're
going back
angry human.
No, hold on. I cut both ways. I cut both ways. I'm about to go into a Corbin Carroll thing here for a second, and when somebody's no good anymore,
not before you try to absolutely decapitate one of the greatest postseason pitchers
ever
in Major League
That's
history.
great. We're talking so far in the
That's great.
mirror.
That's fine.
So far in the rear view mirror.
Dismiss the world champion. Who gives a shit?
No, I remember that as vividly as I have any baseball highlight or experience.
Do you? Well, it shows you appreciate
of my professional career. He has a 5.10 ERA since 2020. He's over.
Wow.
With Corbin
Bring
Carroll,
up
I do think it matters on a subjective sense, though, that he signed long term, because the Diamondbacks fan, I feel like that allows you to appreciate what's happening with him as a Diamondbacks fan in a much more comfortable setting, because you're not wondering where is this all headed in 3 years? Is the team going to be good enough around him to just, et cetera, et cetera? Are they going to have to trade him and spin him off because he's too expensive? Like, he's signed. You can get excited about what he's developing into, and you can get really excited about the team that's developing around him too. And I think that, I don't know how to quantify that, but I think it matters.